This documentary is on the Boston Strangler, the serial killer who terrorized Boston. The request to write this documentary came from Lucas. Thank you for your suggestion. If anyone else has a suggestion on a documentary you would like me to write, please let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to get the documentary to you on my channel. Please don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. The Boston Strangler was a notorious serial killer who terrorized the city of Boston in the early 1960s. The killer, whose identity remains a mystery to this day, was responsible for the murders of at least 13 women between 1962 and 1964. The case remains one of the most high-profile and intriguing unsolved mysteries in American history. The murders began in June 1962 when the body of Anna Sleezers, a 55-year-old Latvian immigrant, was discovered in her Boston apartment. Sleezers had been strangled with her own bathrobe cord. Over the next 2 years, a total of 13 women were found dead, all of whom had been strangled with various objects such as stockings, scarves, or belts. The victims were all women between the ages of 19 and 85, and many of them were sexually assaulted before they were killed. The killer seemed to have a preference for older women who lived alone. The murders were particularly brutal, with some victims being bound, gagged, and left in a sexually suggestive pose. The police and the media dubbed the killer the Boston Strangler, and the case quickly became a national sensation. The murders sparked widespread fear and panic in the city, and many women took extreme measures to protect themselves, such as sleeping with their windows locked and carrying weapons. The police investigation into the Boston Strangler case was one of the largest and most extensive in American history. The police interviewed over 10,000 suspects and followed up on over 20,000 leads. Despite their efforts, however, the killer was never caught. In 1964, Albert DeSalvo, a career criminal and sexual predator, confessed to being the Boston Strangler. DeSalvo had been arrested for a series of unrelated rapes and was in prison when he confessed to the murders. He claimed to have killed 13 women, but his confession was riddled with inconsistencies, and some of the details he provided did not match the evidence. DeSalvo was never formally charged with the murders, but he was sentenced to life in prison for the rapes. He was murdered in prison in 1973, and his confession remains controversial and disputed to this day. Some investigators and experts believe that DeSalvo was not the Boston Strangler and that the real killer is still at large. The Boston Strangler case has fascinated true crime enthusiasts and investigators for decades. The case has inspired numerous books, movies, and television shows, including a 1968 film called The Boston Strangler starring Tony Curtis. The case has also been the subject of many theories and speculations, with some suggesting that the killer was a group of individuals rather than a single person. In 2013, DNA evidence was used to connect Albert DeSalvo to the murder of Mary Sullivan, one of the Boston Strangler's victims. The evidence was obtained from a water bottle that DeSalvo had used while in prison. The discovery provided some closure for the family of Sullivan and renewed interest in the case, but it did not definitively solve the mystery of the Boston Strangler. In conclusion, the Boston Strangler case remains one of the most intriguing and enigmatic unsolved mysteries in American history. The brutal murders, the extensive police investigation, and the controversial confession of Albert DeSalvo have all contributed to the case's enduring fascination. Despite the passage of time, the case continues to captivate true crime enthusiasts and investigators, and it is likely that the mystery of the Boston Strangler will remain unsolved for many years to come. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest videos. Thank you.